Now we are about to discuss what is a rational function. So what is a rational function? Rational function is a coordinates in a set of centered pairs. A rational function has a domain and a range. A domain is the first set of the coordinates, while the range is the second set of coordinates. So let's find the domain using the equation f of x is equals to 1 over x plus 2. So what would make x plus 2 equals to 0? Of course, x minus 2 would make it 0. Hence, the domain of the rational function 1 over x plus 2 can be any real numbers from the negative infinity to the positive infinity except for negative 2, because negative 2 would make x plus 2 equal to 0. There are three kinds of asymptotes. First is the vertical asymptote. So to find the vertical asymptote, this is how we do it. We simply equate the denominator into 0, or x equals 0. For example, let's take the first equation, which is f of x is equals to 1 over x plus 2. So how we do it? We simply equate the denominator into 0. So 0 is equals to x plus 2. So what makes x plus 2 equals to 0? Of course, x minus 2 would make x plus 2 equal to 0. Now, x negative 2 will be our vertical asymptote. The second asymptote is called the horizontal asymptote. Let's take again the equation f of x is equals to 1 over x plus 2. How do we compare the degrees? We look at the variables. Now, x is equals to 1. Well, this has no variable, so it will be equal to 0. Now, which is greater? Yes, our denominator is greater than the numerator. So, our y will be equals to 0, and that will be our horizontal asymptote. Now, in some cases, something like this happens. Now, if we compare the degrees, we both have 1 over 1, which is the numerator will be equal to denominator. So what will happen? Then, our y will be equals to 1 over 1. Now, sometimes this also happens. Let's say f of x is equals to 1x squared over x plus 2. Now, if we would compare the degrees, then it will be 2 over 1. So what happened? The numerator is greater than the denominator. Hence, there will be no horizontal asymptote. But if there is no horizontal asymptote, then here comes our third type of asymptote, which is called the oblique asymptote or the slant asymptote. So we will be now graphing the rational function. Let's take our equation. F of x is equals to 1 over x plus 2, which the domain can be any real numbers except for negative 2. So we can start at getting our x and y intercepts. We can start in negative 1, then 0, 1, then 2. Now, to get the values of y, we simply substitute the values of x. Now, if we would substitute negative 1, for example, negative 1 plus 2, the answer would be 1 divided by 1. So, that would be 1. Now, if we would substitute x with 0, now 0 plus 2 would be equals to 0 divided by, no, it will be equals to 2 divided by 1 is 2. So, let's substitute x to 1. Now, 1 plus 2 is equals to 3 divided by 1 will be 3. Substitute number 2. X will be 2. So, 2 plus 2 would be equal to 4 divided by 1 is still 4. So, that would be our coordinates. So, now let's graph. So, the first coordinate is x is negative 1. So, it will be here. And then our y will be 1. So, that would be here. So, it's here. Now, our second coordinate, which is 0 and 2. So, our x is in 0 and our y is in 2. So, here. Then, in our third coordinate, it's 1 and 3. Our x is 1, which is here, and our y is 3. So, let's go there. And then, our last coordinate, which is 2 and 4. So, it would be here. Now, if we would get our coordinate, here would be the graph. That would be the graph of our equation, which is f of x is equals to 1 to x plus 2.